energy around.
Whenever you guys are ready.
All right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Welcome to the Galactic Guardians podcast. I'm Tsunami Diamond.
What up, fam? I'm Megan, or your galactic sister Meg.
And we are so excited to be dropping in with you today as we dive a bit into the game, the Matrix, and what is really going on here on the planet.
I'm just going to move some energy around. Keep talking.
Let's just say, for those of you gamers out there that might be watching, I myself have been a gamer ever since the first Atari came out. Life itself is very akin to a video game. Let's take a RPG role-playing game as an example. What do you do in a role-playing game? Or what do you even do in a game? It's all about getting to that next level, right? Leveling up your character, leveling up your stats, especially in an RPG. Unfortunately, many people do not live their life in the mindset of playing a game. So a lot of people are stuck on level 1, not even wanting to progress in life and thinking in the ways of how can I be leveling up? And unfortunately, they're playing games, or they've been brought into these other games on the planet, let's say the Matrix system, which has people caught in what some might call the rat race, going in loops and circles, staying stagnant, not leveling up, staying on level 1 instead of learning the keys and learning the ways of our reality to actively take life into their own hands and begin playing the game.
Mm-hmm. Cool. When I figured a deeper knowing of this creation, wow, hello, Kim, it's right in my face. I felt that I was being set up. I was like, oh, dang, whoa, we've really been set up. This is intense, and this is totally not cool. And F. F. And so then I asked myself, well, what is the setup? And what is the Matrix? What are these words? What's going on here, dude? And how do we figure this out? And what feels right and what doesn't feel right? How do I remove the loops in my mind, or the feelings of sabotage, or the old programs that were created in my being from childhood and through growing up and through going to these schools that we were pushed to go to? What is this, yo? I'm trying to work every day. What is all this stuff? Yeah, really. So then I figured the game out that we're here to tell you about. And I realized that this setup, this system, what's the key word we're going to use for the systems now?
Let's say
the toxic systems. Perfect. The toxic systems are actually a part of this creation. It's the duality of this creation. And so these toxic systems were purposely put here for us to figure out, and then for us to understand the toxicity of these systems, and to dig in deeper and deeper and deeper and open up the layers like an onion. Open it up, what's going on here? And observe, and then feel it out. Does this feel right? Well, what's being created here? And then consciously and collectively, all of us start elevating and realizing, nah, this ain't good. Nah, this isn't what? Nah. And we start elevating ourselves to what is the more enriched, more lively feeling, vibration, or way we can really create to extend the greatness of this creation. And then we start opening up pathways of expansion, allowing things to flow the greatest way for our souls, for our hearts, for our minds. And so collectively, the ones that are really doing the effort of change, we're expanding that light and building more light on the planet. And so the duality of the toxicity is a part of this game that is also being dismantled right now. Lies are being shown for the consciousness of the collective to see and realize, hey, we don't want to put our trust in these systems anymore. And who's running these systems? I mean, I see that people that are about to croak over are running these systems. Huh? Where are the enlightened, healthy, great, amazing people? Heart-centered. Yeah, heart-centered people that can run these systems without backtracking and us playing this reverse creation move forward.
What did Einstein say? Doing the same thing over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity, right? Yeah. So when we look back in history and we see the repetition of how some things have been run and that it's not working for the greatest good, but to keep doing it over and over again the same is the definition of insanity. So we now live in a time, especially in our modern day age, where we have access to all of the information of the ages and our ancient history and knowledge from all around the world, that we can look back in retrospect and learn from our mistakes, and also look back in retrospect through history and learn what worked the best, so we can then take the best pieces of our ancient past, learn from our ancestors, and learn how to do it in a new, better way now, today, moving forward. Which I feel is what you touched on, is especially who are the people running the game? Who are the people running the show here on this planet? Is it people that have served way too many terms in these positions that they're in cahoots with some of the biggest corporations on the planet, and there's so much manipulation going on? And when you start piecing together the pieces of the puzzle of how they're all interconnected with the financial systems, with the pharmaceutical systems, with the government systems, with the education systems, with all of these things, or the food systems that are getting manipulated with genetic modification and all these things, and you start looking at the facts and you start piecing them together, such as one talk that I remember seeing was, you can look this up, a talk of Bill Gates on doing a TED talk, literally breaking down how they were going to effectively reduce the population of the planet by a very large percentage. He gives a whole presentation and breaks down their plan of how they're going to do this. He says they're going to do it through vaccinations. They're going to do this through the food supply. They're going to do this through the medical system. And when you start thinking, they're going to use those systems to depopulate the planet? Interesting.
Dive in deeper, deeper, deeper. You got me thinking about... I don't even want to get into food so much about this, but downstairs we seen little kids eating McDonald's. And let's get it real right, is like my parents fed me McDonald's. And I love McDonald's. I think about hash browns here and there still. Though the wisdom I know is, Bill Gates runs the potatoes and has their farm, and they're totally not putting the right ingredients into these delightful potatoes. And here's the thing, though. We're feeding our children this stuff. I was fed this stuff. Were you fed this stuff?
Yeah, at some point,
We're creating toxicity in the brains of humanity. We're going to touch base on food another episode. So let's get back to this
Well,
part.
I think food actually has to do with how do you play the game and how do you level up.
Yeah.
Because you got to start thinking like in gaming terms of, okay, how am I leveling up? How am I earning XP, experience points, to level up my character, right? Well, every single day, every meal you eat or don't eat, because fasting is a massive way where you can earn XP and level up through intermittent fasting, through water fasting and things like that. But also when you think in terms of every time I'm putting something into my body, this is either leveling me up, I'm earning XP, or it's leveling me down.
Totally.
Or keeping me stagnant.
Yeah.
Right?
And also, how do we level up? Who's controlling the thoughts in your mind? Am I thinking hash brown, hash brown, hash brown, hash brown? Is it up here? Or is my heart and my tummy thinking hash brown, hash brown, hash brown, hash brown? So then when you have that, which way are you going? Are you going to allow that mind to take you that way? And then you did it for a moment in time of great satisfaction for a second, and then you're receiving the decrease of not taking the path to really evolve. And so now here you're going to have to deal with more chaos in the mind or in the body, creating disease in the body. So at that point in time where you have two pathways, for us to level up, you are the director. This is your show. This is your movie. As for everyone, I am the director, my show, my movie. And who's controlling which pathways I'm trying to go? Is this my good side? Or is this my side trying to entrap me? And we got to keep asking ourselves that every time we get to a scene. Is this a habit? Or am I expanding here? Mm-hmm. And ask yourself, what are my habits? How much is my thought, my mind thinking this specific thing? Or how much am I not thinking and I'm just creating?
Like, is it an urge or an addiction, or is it tuning into the innate wisdom of your body and listening to what your body is wanting to have the best nutrients for up-leveling? Because that's really where we should be getting to, especially when we start growing our own foods and having our gardens and these things. We're not supposed to eat, as an example, we're not supposed to eat the same thing all year long. We're supposed to eat seasonally. So we want to get into these habits. Unfortunately, in our grocery stores, there's very limited amount of food that we can choose from, especially in regards to fruit and vegetables. The amount of abundance that actually exists in the realm of fruit and vegetables is so much more vast than what we have access to in the grocery stores, right? So really, I mean, one of the best things is just really getting more and more in tune with our bodies. And it has to do with the reprogramming or releasing old programs that might have us stuck in certain ways. And that's where, just changing what we consume helps then unprogramming and shifting that. And it's not just about what you consume in food. It's about what you consume in any consumption, whether that's media you're watching, music you're listening to, or any of these things where you're consuming energy in some way that's either benefiting you or harming you. So really just getting in tune of that. Is this benefiting me? Is this going to lead me to my own personal path's highest timeline or not? And the more we practice just tuning in and listening to our bodies and our own inner wisdom or our guides, the more that connection of attunement or hearing guidance and wisdom will get stronger and stronger when we learn to dissipate the distractions and the noise of society, which there's just so much noise, right? Which is why things like meditation practice is so important, right? Learning to really calm the mind, to really be able to have clear discernment on the messages as well.
In about 15 minutes.
So you say meditation, and then I feel a lot of feelings of, darn, man, I've tried to meditate, and it just loops. How do you get there? And this whole creation is of consistency. We are a sponge. And so repeating and taking the effort and the energy to level up will start changing you, because the sponge of intelligence starts rewiring this new pattern. So you are like the gas in your engine, and you must keep filling up and keep putting energy into that new way. Let's just get into how to master the game. We've gone over a few flows. How to master the game a bit more. And we'll end this with any other solutions.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I think should be touched on is this game, especially when taking into fact where we're at in history right now, the game rules are changing, actually. The playing field's changing greatly because we're in this time of ascension. So as an example, I feel like in the past, when the Earth was still in a very lower density, it took longer to level up.
Yeah.
Right? Where it took yogis or masters going out into leaving society for many years and doing endless amounts of practice day in and day out to get to more, let's say, what some might call enlightenment. But right now, with what's going on the planet and the influx of cosmic energies that are coming in and the upcoming great solar flash that's going to take place, there is going to be leaps and bounds of evolution of consciousness with people on the planet. So we're going to be able, it's almost like we get this bonus round where we get to level up. And the more that we also jump in, the more we can even level up more, right?
So that was a lot, and he's very wise. So in my mind, okay. So you're basically saying that energy is shifting on the planet, and so our evolution is moving more rapidly, changing our DNA and the frequency around us for us to retrieve the gifts, for us to retrieve our manifestations of a higher wishing, a higher want, a higher demand quicker.
Yeah, we got a lot of assistance right now. Like
yes.
Gaia's raising her vibration, which is helping us. The star, there's so much helping us. The
stars are helping us, bringing in more light energy. The sun is helping us bring in more light energy. The moon is helping us bring in more light energy. Our galactic family from different star seeds are bringing in more light energy. They're like, yo, enough of the game of Earth Matrix. We got to help the people now. And collectively, the awakened ones, the ones doing the work, me, 5-10 hours a day, meditating, activating my body, doing plant medicine, to be in different realms. And many of us are doing this around the world. We have commanded help. We have commanded that more energy come to Earth and that we shift this game now. And it's not like we're in a time, the golden age, where we were specifically put here on Earth to speak what we're speaking right now and to be the builders, the greatest architects of this new land that serves Earth and serves humanity. So this is our mission. This is our purpose on Earth. And so collectively, the light workers or these beings that are doing this spirit work, we play a great role in helping us shift to this new timeline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why one thing we've been focused on doing is creating the ascended game of life, to start teaching people how to play the real game and incentivizing them through rewards of tokens and NFTs and other amazing experiences for leveling up your life and helping level up the planet, coming together and co-creating these new systems and new ways of life and earning abundance for doing so. Because right now, a lot of people are getting reward mechanisms for things that are hurting them, right? A lot of the technology systems that we use have reward mechanisms built in to release dopamine, to keep people hooked on things, but it's really not serving their greatest good. So how can we use gamification and incentives to incentivize people to start leveling up and playing the game? So if you want to join us on this game, we're excited. We're bringing together some of the greatest creators on the planet, some of the most amazing projects and new creations getting birth of new ways of living, of new ways of working, of new ways of playing and experiencing what some might call heaven on earth. Because there's two realities coexisting right now. There is the reality that is, let's say, this matrix system that's been essentially enslaving humanity. And we're seeing what's going on the last years on the planet with those systems. But also there's so much hope on the planet right now because there's all of these new systems that are being birthed around the world. Epic, amazing, beautiful eco-resorts and villages and temples and new products and new technologies that serve the greatest good for all, that serve the greatest good for the planet. So that's what we need to start thinking about in all these things. Is this serving my greatest good? Is this also good for the planet? Because unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff that is harming the planet. So we want to take care of Gaia, and we want to take care of ourselves, and we want to take care of others. That's the key.
Cool. So,
Any golden key you'd like to share to end this episode?
Well, how to master this game? You gotta start with yourself. Start listening to the voices inside and observe what feels good, what doesn't feel good. What feels good, what doesn't feel good. And then start creating your new you. Start creating the magic around you. Serve yourself first. And there is always time. You can start with 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I started with 5 minutes, and now I have all the time I can imagine. Which means, an example, I have no time to meditate. I have no time to figure this game out, I'm creating all these cool companies. Started with 10 minutes. Then all of a sudden had 30 minutes. Then all of a sudden this game that I was really figuring out was very interesting. I have superpowers. What? There's multiple levels. What? Tell me more. Then I started with having an hour, and then I started with having 2 hours to 5 hours to I have all day to do this. And I just gracefully started changing my mind, my beliefs, and then I started letting go of work, and more work of creation, the way I really wanted to create, came through. And then I'm just divinely having every minute, every moment to do whatever I want. And now here I am creating my visions and dreams and serving. So remove the old patterns that say I can't, I don't have time. Just remove the old patterns. What about you, Yo? You got any golden keys?
Yes. The greatest limitator is ourselves. Where anything is possible. We can accomplish anything we set our minds to. We all have superpowers lying dormant inside. So it's just getting into the place of belief. Because if we have the desire combined with belief, that is what is necessary to manifest that into reality. So we can create whatever reality we want for ourselves, being the directors we are of our realities. So really start thinking, if I'm creating my life's masterpiece as the artist or creator I am, how do I want this masterpiece to be? The more you can get detailed about your masterpiece that you are and that you are bringing forth into the world, the faster that vision can become so.
Namaste.
We love you. Blessings.
And cut.